So good afternoon. My name is Challange, and I will be your presenter today. And today we will be talking about how to sell software services as products. So let us give a couple of minutes for people to arrive, and then we will start with some perhaps bad news, and then we will progress to hopefully some better news. All right. So first of all, let me start from something that really struck me as something really odd, and this is the fact that actually software development companies and software companies in total in Eastern Europe are making significantly less value added per employee than they are making in Western Europe, and the difference is something from 2 to 5 times. So that is huge, and that actually suggest me even to write an article on LinkedIn exploring this very issue and this problem, right? And I believe that one of answers to this question regarding why we in Eastern and Southern part of Europe are selling our products so cheaply is because we struggle to productize our services. So therefore, here also the first poll question is, can you please give your version why in Eastern and Southern Europe we are failing to generate as much as value added for our developer works as companies in Western Europe? Yet, few answers are coming in, but as I'm late, let me continue, and let me continue to the next slide, and welcome everyone again. Big apologies for being late and for technical challenges. Today we are in webinar answering how to sell IT services as products and why selling products is much better. My name is Challange. I'm a business growth strategist and trainer at IBD Consulting, and we are a company which specializes in one thing only. We help other technology companies generate demand and grow their business. But let us go to next slide. So what do you think? What is easier to sell? Is it easier? What is easier to buy? Is it easier to buy a product or a service? So, Mandara, if you could pull up the next survey, that would be good. But as answers are coming in, let me jump already to the next thing. And the thing is that actually services are more difficult to buy than products, and products are much easier to buy. But why is it so? And the root to this problem is the way how business buyers look at risk. Because you see, buyers, when they are faced with some kind of innovative project, innovative challenge that they need to deliver, they're very concerned about their personal risks. Because you see, if they convince their organization to invest in work with some kind of external partner, and if the project fails, it's quite possible that the career and professional growth of this person is basically over. They may even be fired, right? Therefore, they have quite a lot of nagging questions. They think, okay, how can I trust this partner? What if it fails? What if I get fired, right? And very often also, if business people are looking at technical innovation, they have no idea how to do it. They have no idea how much work it takes. They have no idea how to get it done, right? So they are quite desperate. So, for example, for them to understand whether you are scoping project right, whether it indeed will require as many hours as you are quoting, that's a difficult question. They have no idea, right? And from other hand, they want to reduce their own effort. They want to reduce their own risks, right? And another very important factor to understand is that they are not spending their own money. Basically, they are spending employers' money. And they know very well that if project succeeds, they maybe get some kind of small bonus, but all the benefits goes to company. The owner will be able to buy, another Ferrari, but for the employee, maybe it's a bit of growth in terms of career, maybe a bit of bonus, but that's about it. So they will be very much focused to reduce their own risks, right? And this also is the reason why buying a product for them is much more preferable than buying services. Now, if you look at product, and in this case, simple car, nothing fancy, right? If you look at buying products, there's huge clarity. Everything is clear. It's clear about price or about payment terms. It's clear about benefits. Everybody knows what to expect from car. You can drive. Maybe if it's a cool car, it's also a bit of prestige. Maybe if it's very fuel efficient car, it's savings, etc. It's clear about compliance, that you actually should be able to pass technical inspections. Your driver's license must permit driving, etc. It's also clear about things like integrations and compatibility, that, for example, there must be, like, the car must be of such size that you can actually park it, right? It should fit on the road. It should work with commercially available fuel. What else? It also has to have some kind of ecosystem with experienced technicians, right? And then similarly with the rest of things, like timeline is also clear. Typically, if you're buying a car, you know what's the wait time, what's the registration process, you know what are requirements from customer. You need to have money or be able to take financing, you need driver's license, parking space, etc. Right? So there's quite a lot of clarity, and therefore selling products is much easier than selling services. And the big question is, of course, how can we convert services into products that are easy to communicate, easy to market, easy to sell? And that's exactly what we are going to talk about today, right? And while products are much easier to sell, we know from Gartner's latest research about global software buying trends that still, although most of buyers still prefer buying the product, still most of them also want some customization services. So most of buyers are not happy with just, pure off-the-shelf software. They also want customization, and that, of course, is a room for your services, even if you are selling the services as products. So let's talk about 5 stages of converting IT services into products. So let's start with discussing the first stage. So basically the stage 0, or the most basic way to sell services. So the most basic way to sell services is quite simple. You are basically trading your time for money, right? And there are quite a lot of problems. So first of all, you are totally open to competition. So your customers can bargain, and they can always say, well, if you are not decreasing your price, I can buy the same services from, I don't know, Latvians, Ukrainians, Estonians, maybe also Indians, or people from, I don't know, Bangladesh, right? So you are very, very vulnerable, very open to competition. So this approach can work with relationship-based sales. So if you're selling based on trust, right, we will look at it a bit more. But generally, this kind of way to sell software, it's not scalable, right? And big problem is that you have very, very huge pressure in terms of pricing. And if market is going down, as I hear it is going down right now, you have more and more pressure. So for you to sell becomes difficult because there's more supply in market than there is demand. So, but let's explore a bit the topic of relationship selling. And with the relationship selling, there are few very, very big problems. You see, for many companies, when they start out, for them the most obvious customers are people they know already, people already in their network, people like their friends, acquaintances, schoolmates. And this can work in small market, like in let's say in public services market in Latvia. This can work. People know you, they buy because they trust you. However, there's big problem with this product, with this approach, and first of all, it's not scalable. So sooner or later, you run out of customers right? And what do you do then, right? If you are going, let's say, to go to export markets, then you also need to invest quite a lot in having really capable, real professional, some kind of sales representative over there. And these are huge costs. Or alternatively, you have to build real big brand like, IBM or Accenture. And you may recall this saying that nobody was ever fired for buying from IBM, right? But again, for most companies, for small size, for medium size companies, this is not a way to grow. So it's very difficult and it's very expensive to scale a relationship. Basically, it doesn't work. And also, this stage 0 of selling services looks like the message that you see on screen. Actually, these kind of emails I receive quite often. And basically, here's somebody named supposedly Andrew is trying to sell me all kinds of tailored solutions, and he's claiming that they have proficiency in various frameworks and technology stacks. Basically, they are happy to take my money and do whatever I want. But the problem with this approach, again, is that it doesn't it doesn't work. Simply, it doesn't work. Cold outreach like that doesn't work, and it doesn't help you sell your products. And why it doesn't help? It doesn't help sell your products because buyers are very risk averse. And I cannot imagine anyone who's going to buy, let's say, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands worth, let's say, custom software development project based on the cold email they received in their inbox. It just doesn't work like that. All right, let's now take a look at the stage one, right? And this I would say is the first serious stage which helps you really sell your products much better than stage zero, right? And in this stage, what is important? Clear focus is important, and you need to focus down your, let's say, scope of services into some clear specialization. How to be able to answer what's your specializations, what's your advantages, who is your target customer, and so on, right? And in this case, you specialize, you focus very narrowly on your ideal customer profiles, you develop unique value proposition, and it becomes much easier to stand out because it's very easy to answer where your specialization is. It's much easier to sell. And however, I must say that in many cases, if you're only working in home market very often may be too small for specialization. For example, for us, for IBD Consulting, we knew right from the start that our home market, Latvia, will be too small for us. So we went international right from the start, and still we are selling most of our business outside of Latvia.
And now a few words about our new Masterclass and Challenge, how to market and sell IT services. The Masterclass and Challenge is an intensive 3-week online training program that I designed specifically for founders and CEOs of IT service companies. The program equips you with practical knowledge, tools, and templates to help you make key strategic decisions that are necessary for growth, attract more customers, increase prices, and start selling directly to business buyers in international markets. I'm Roland Sozoliņš, the lead instructor and designer of this masterclass. I invite you to explore the training program and consider signing up. In just 3 weeks, you will get concentrated knowledge of everything you need to know and do to grow your business and increase profitability. To make learning experience very practical, I have included a specific challenge that is a homework for you to design a growth plan of your own business under my guidance. Head over to the website to learn more. You will find a link in the description of this video. Now, back to webinar. I hope you find it useful.
So let's dive a bit deeper. What are some requirements to really succeed with the stage one? And first of all, you have to figure out, as I said, your specialization, right? Because specialization for buyer is licensed to purchase at premium price, right? And if you look for your specialization, try to look at cross-section of different competencies. Perhaps you have specialization in specific process for specific industry, specific situation, specific customer size, and so on, right? And specialization, in essence, means some kind of competency that you can very clearly demonstrate with, let's say, with case studies or with the solution or with some kind of specific certification that your team has. Buyers prefer specialists. Why they prefer specialists? Again, because they believe that people or companies who are specialized in solving their specific problem, they have less risk to deal with, right? There will be much less risks working with them. Whenever you have to go to management to convince them to buy a solution from certain company, it's much easier task to accomplish if you can argue that this company is real specialist. They have case studies, they know our industry very well, they have already considered our industry's best practice in their solution, and so on. So specialization is, I would say, a first superpower that all IT service companies would benefit if they would implement and pursue. And don't trust me just like that, right? Later on, I will share with you a link to this podcast. We at IBD Consulting, we are doing bi-monthly podcasts, right? And we had Aldis Eglis. He's a general manager of Emergent Latvia. That's like a rather large large software development company, right? And he shared his opinion about specialization. What he says was that if they're just selling, let's say, people to do work, then the rate is approximately 400 euro per day. However, if they sell them as specialists or somebody who deliver some specific expertise, specific solutions, the rate per day can go up to 1,500 euros, right? So huge difference. So there's clearly value in specialization. Specialization is something that would allow you to increase your price very, very easily. So next thing is that when you are considering specialization, it comes together with also ideal customer profile. Because if you are specializing, then you are specializing in meeting needs of some very specific customers, right? And that allows to narrow down your marketing efforts, and that also allows you to save quite a lot of costs in terms of marketing and sales, because your offering suddenly becomes specific and it becomes very relevant to customers who are within your ideal customer profile. And I would advise to take it even further, right? And if you think about your specialization, you should also think about which exactly countries you're going to target and develop a very specific list of customers. And for some businesses, a list of, let's say, 100 customers would be enough to grow their business in foreseeable future, right? For somebody, maybe it will be a few hundred. For somebody, maybe thousands, right? But once you are targeting specific list of customers, again, your marketing becomes much, much easier. Over time, you can build, let's say, your LinkedIn network with people specifically in this list of companies. Targeting your advertising becomes cheaper. And again, it makes your specialization and delivering your messages and engaging customers just, much, much easier. And two things, specialization and ideal customer profile. If you have clarity about those, then it again becomes very, very easy to develop your unique value proposition, right? And once you do that, again, your messages, your marketing becomes much, much more purposeful. And if you want to delegate some, let's say, marketing or sales work, again, it becomes much, much easier because it's very clear what's your specialization, whom you are targeting as ideal customer profile, and what are the key things to talk about. So once you have these things set, developing content, developing sales scripts, briefing, let's say, agency about some kind of marketing campaigns becomes very easy. And for you as a founder of a company, it becomes suddenly possible to delegate, right? Because people understand very, very clearly what you want to achieve, and what is the result, and what is the customer you're going after, and so on. All right, let's now talk about the next stage 2, in terms of converting services into product. And listen up, this is actually a very important stage because I think it's also very, it's also very practical for most of you, right? And here you should focus on what? You should focus on selling first step offers. So not the large service contract that you are after, but instead focusing on selling first step offers. In a minute, I will explain what exactly it is, right? Because these first step offers, actually, they open buyers' doors much, much easier. So it's much easier to get to conversation. And they also help you pull in big service contracts. But let's explore what these, first step offers is, right? And look, if you want to sell a service, first step product, right? This typically small commitment which you are asking for customer. For example, spending, I don't know, maybe half a day or maybe 2 days together with you on working on something, right? And to define this offer, it's actually quite easy. You just have to be very clear and define what exactly customer will get out of this, how the process look like what you will do, what's special about it, and so on. What inputs you need from customer. So who from customer needs to do what, when, etc. Obviously, you have to be able to give timeline. So when it happens, how long does it take, etc. Then as a very important thing on top is you better deliver some kind of customer evidence, like customer quotes, logos, or case studies, where you explain how you delivered exactly this project before. And obviously, remember we looked at whether whether car is easier to buy than service, you also need to provide fixed price for this offer, right? So the logic is following that you don't necessarily market the huge project you want to sell, but you are marketing first step product, right? And when customers are signing up for this offer, you have to be very careful in qualifying them, because this offer will take time of your team. You will have to work, you will have to invest hours. So you want to qualify customers very carefully, right? Then you deliver this first step project, and in many cases, this first step project with some 50-60% conversion rate helps to pull or get the big service project, right? So this is great tactics actually to sell your services better, right? And again, when you are selling the first step, you are not selling the big project, but instead you are kind of putting your foot in the door, right? And what these projects could be? Things like scoping workshop, perhaps an audit in some cases. This can be maybe some kind of small pilot or proof of concept project. Maybe in some cases some even MVP development. Maybe partial functionality, or maybe a product discovery workshop. So what are your objectives? Why would you be willing to actually sell this first step product? Well, first of all, before customer will be ready to buy from you, they want to feel safe working with you. They have to trust you, right? And this first step offer is a great way to build trust. So basically, if your teams are working together, you can demonstrate competency, work culture, quality of your team. Second, you also have hands-on collaboration with the buying group. So if you have some 4 or 5 people participating in such a workshop, chances are these are also the same 4 or 5 people who will be making decisions, right? So you will already help to sell a project because they will trust in you. So you also have to demonstrate value, and over this workshop you want to eliminate any perceived risks, right? And again, working together is great way to do it. And again, your ultimate goal is to convert to really big project and sell it as the first step. Let's take a couple of examples. So, for example, you can sell, right? You can productize things like, let's say, product discovery workshop. So, for example, if let's say business buyer has some kind of innovative idea, they want to develop a solution, an application, or let's say a website. Although they have a kind of a vision and they roughly know what they want to achieve, they have no idea how to do it, right? So they have, let's say, a burning idea on hands, but they cannot convert it into budget, into timeline, into something, right? So in this case, product discovery workshop is something that can really help, because it allows you to bring your team and customer team together, follow proven methodology, and you can end up with clear requirements, clear roadmap, cost estimate, timeline, everything. So suddenly your customer progressed from being very unsecured and very stressed to a clarity, and to the document which they can bring to board and can get budget and financing for the project, right? And I know for some of my customers, this kind of approach it works great. And also you don't need to provide this 2-day workshop free, right? You can charge for it. It can be profitable on its own. Let's take a look at other example. So Azure Fabrics, highly innovative, basically new technology, right? And for customers, right? And in this case, buyer is rather technical team. They know that there's new technology. They know they are not on top of competency. They know they could use third-party help, but how to know about what will they get? How to know how big the competency gap is, right? And again, here can be solution like a half-day product online workshop. So basically, marketing sells free workshop to enterprise customers. You have to very strictly qualify them, because you don't want to waste time with somebody who is not capable to buy after this workshop, right? And you end up with demonstrated strong competency to customer technical team, right? For them, it becomes very easy to make decision about buying from you. So this is kind of a second approach, but all these approaches have one thing in common. All these first step offers have very high conversion rate to the next stage. So we are talking about rate of 50 to 60 to 70%, right? So if you just remember one thing from today's webinar, think about how you can how can you prepare these first step offers, because they indeed help you to productize your offerings and help you sell your services. Stage number 3, things suddenly are getting interested, right? And this is a stage when because of your specialization and because of working with somewhat similar challenges or similar industries, you have already delivered a number of projects. So you know exactly what are typical requirements, what does it take to deliver products and so on. And you also have figured out what are the repeated processes which you are doing all the time. You have documented them, chances are you have automated them, maybe you have turned these into products. So again, because of your experience with the industry, your competence already includes the best practice required, right? And now you are able to introduce license fee, because what you are selling actually contains much of intellectual property, right? It's not just service only, but you're also selling clearly knowledge. And at this stage, also the cost and time required to implement goes down, speed of implementation goes up, your profits improve. So you are really approaching the stage when you can start selling products, right? What are some examples of services that you can productize here? So things like integrations, right? Probably if you have integrated your solution with the same ERP system 5 times, you know already how to do it very, very quickly, right? And obviously it would be stupid to charge customer for work only, right? Here's huge added value. You can license it, right? You can sell things like support. Again, if you're working with many customers, you already know what kind of support requirements are. You have set up procedures, best practices, documentations, etc. Trainings. You can certify your solution to comply with different standards, right? You can also sell development sprints. But the important thing here is that here you really are decoupling your time invested, and you are able to charge for software licenses, right? All right, and the next step, final step, basically is when you are able to launch a software as a service product and also related services, right? And here what happens? So basically your product should already be so mature that it's working basically off the shelf. You can use your credit card, get to free trial, let's say in 5 minutes. You can start using it and it will work, right? It doesn't need to be super kind of perfect product, because still, and particularly your enterprise customers, they will want some kind of customization. They will want some kind of integration with their specific systems, processes, workflows, and so on, right? This stage is quite advanced. It's a complicated business, and it also has huge risks. So I'd imagine if you are today joining to learn how to productize services, probably SaaS product for you is, I would say, probably still a couple of years away. And if you're successful with this business, it can be extremely profitable. It's like, like printing money. Again, you probably have heard about large number of companies who are working in this business and who are successful there, but getting to success is somewhat difficult. It's not so simple, and it's not so straightforward. All right, and look, now before I'm coming to how we can help, I would be happy to answer questions, and let me check chat for questions. All right, honestly, I don't see any questions right now, but if there would be some, I would be more than happy to try and answer. All right, I will check. I will also check back later for the questions. All right, now how can we help you actually to move from this stage 1 to, I would say, stage 2 or stage 3? And here I want to introduce our training program. And it is called How to Sell IT Services Masterclass and Challenge, right? And this is something that we have developed specifically for IT service companies, right? And why have we done that? Because we see that there is very, very huge opportunity, particularly in Eastern and Southern Europe. Let me see if I can get back this slide, right? Because the problem is that most of companies in our countries are selling their IT services at massive discount. And I cannot find a rational reason for that. And I'm actually quite frustrated that, let's say, companies in Eastern Europe and in Baltics and in Latvia are giving their very high value services away with significant discount. It shouldn't be this way, right? And increasing price, increasing value is entirely doable thing. And this is also why we put together this training, the Masterclass. So let me guide you through the program. So generally it takes place over 3 weeks period, and then we have additional wrap-up session. And every week on Tuesdays there is a class, and then on Thursdays there's question and answer session. And I think the most valuable part of this training program is the challenge part. So basically that's a homework where you would be working on your own strategy, on your own unique value proposition, first step offer, and competency demonstration plan in 4 weeks. So over this period, we will guide you through everything that we believe a founder or CEO of IT services company must know to be able to increase the price, get new customers, and also to be able to delegate tasks to her or his team. So in first class, we talk about buyer behavior, about psychology behind buying, about specialization, about things like ideal customer profile customer, right? And also in each class, we share a number of tools and templates with you so that it's very, very easy for you to create your own plans, your own documents, and so on. And in this class, we will share with you specialization selection tool. We will share ICP template. I will also show you where exactly you can get a list of customers and how can you actually measure how many customers that you can sell to are in each country. And it helps you to make decisions about which market to go to and which exactly customers to target, right? And in the next class, we will look more at developing buyer's persona, right? And understanding the differences. What are the differences in selling to technical people and to business people, right? And how to use these differences. In this class, we will also work quite a lot on developing your unique value proposition. We will go with more advanced version of how to sell services as products. We will talk about creating funnels. I will share 5 proven funnel examples, and also in Q&A session, I will show you how to use databases to research your buyers and customers. And then in the third class, it's all about action. So now we will be planning your reach out plan, demonstration plan. We will talk about how to create and how to reuse marketing content. For example, how to write case studies with a bit of help of AI, how to do things like running webinars for demand generation, and so on. And again, I will share lots of tools and templates which will help you. You will have a rich homework, which again would mean that you will be turning all this knowledge into actionable plan of your own, and so on. So if we look at our track record or what participants of our other training programs are saying, then I would say that they are very happy with what they are receiving. And also from our end, we have like no limits. All the best practice that we have gathered in 8 years of business or building our own service businesses, we are sharing with participants of our class. And yes, a bit about ourselves, why we are qualified in delivering such training. So we are founded in 2016, so we are in business for 8 years, and we are specialized in one thing only. So it's helping technology companies market and sell their products. We have built our own service business in Europe. So as I mentioned, I think maybe 80-90% of our revenue comes outside from our home country, right? So we went international on our own. Among most notable customers, we have Microsoft, we have Citrix Systems, we have Azure Holding. Also, like our average customer is rather much smaller company. And and we have packaged all this know-how in these trainings, and signing up today, we are happy to extend to you 20% discount. So full price is 900 euros, and in 4 weeks you will learn everything that otherwise would take you maybe, I don't know, tens of thousands of euros spent on different experiments, and maybe years trying and studying and so on. So we are condensing it all in basically 3-4 week content. All right, I think that's it from my side. Again, I would be very happy to answer any questions you may have about how to sell IT services as products. So let me see if we have any questions. Yeah, it looks that we don't really have any questions. So let me see. Let me look back at material, and let me see what we could really expand onto. All right, here's a question from Andrei Blanarik. Some list of cloud services you have productized. So we have worked with quite a lot of service companies, and we have typically helped them create these first step offerings, right? Because if you look at typical IT service company, as I mentioned, probably for them to get from stage 0 to stage 5, it would take years. And typically when we start working with service company, we work with them on go-to-market strategy, and super important and central point here is specialization, right? Because in general, most of technology or IT services companies, they have very broad set of services, right? Very, very often they can do almost anything, right? And that is true. However, it's very difficult to market such a broad offering. So typically we work together with customer to select specialization, select markets, select ideal customer profile customers, and then prepare a demand generation campaign. And almost in all cases, essential part of this demand generation campaign is actually these first step offerings. And again, these first step offerings are super important because they allow you to demonstrate competency. They allow you to reduce perceived risks from customer who needs to make buying decision. The risk is smaller. All right, and Andrei has follow-up question: what are typical first services chosen? So you see that depends very much on what are the services sold and what is the specialization. But typically we are looking for something that is valuable enough for end customers so that they would be willing to sign up, and they would be willing to contribute their team to this first step offer, right? And at the same time, we also look for something that would allow for companies that we are working for to demonstrate their competence in the best way, right? And typically we have a brainstorm. We think what would be the best offer, right? And that's how we choose it, right? So it's quite different with different companies and different buyers. All right, thank you, Andrei. Yes, and just in conclusion, one thing that I still want to a bit to emphasize is this first step offer, because I believe that is the most actionable for most of your companies, and I think that I mean, I would be surprised if some of you would not be able to turn your services into first step, some kind of a product, some kind of an offering, right? And to do that, it's really not a rocket science. You just have to decide about what customer will get, so that you can list after, let's say, 2-day workshop, you will get this document with this content, and with that you will be able to do the following. You have to be able to explain the process. For example, this workshop will take 2 days. Over this workshop, we will do the following things. Here is a sample agenda, how we typically do it. Obviously, you need to be able to explain what inputs are needed from customer. So who must participate, when, what kind of contributions or what kind of pre-work you expect. Obviously, you have to be able to give a timeline. And it's much easier to sell if you already have some kind of customer quotes or case studies with customer giving positive feedback about your services. And obviously, once you define it like that, you are also able to give a fixed price for services like that. And I hope you will agree that with this approach, it becomes much easier to sell services as products. And this first step offering is a great tactics to sell all of your services. All right, if I'm not mistaken, I don't see any more questions asked. So thank you for participation in this webinar. Again, apologies for this trouble with technologies in the beginning, but my feeling is that unfortunately, you and me, we will only have more of these troubles as all the systems become more vulnerable to security attacks. So everything is just ridiculously secure. So thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you online again, and hopefully some of you will join our masterclass.